Hey, everybody. Just reaching out to welcome you to Life According to Dana. Just wanted to take a couple minutes just to share some things with you, try to uplift your day and encourage you. I've been talking to a few people lately, and it just seems like people have a lot of noise, going on in their lives for one reason or another, sickness, just daily, just life. How about that? Just life, happening. And I just wanted to take a minute and remind you, you have the right and the authority just to tell the devil, shh, just quiet, just be quiet, get out, whatever however you want to phrase it. But sometimes I really think we forget that we have the right to tell things to be removed out of our lives, be that people, be that circumstance, whatever. Sometimes you just have to tell stuff, shh. And I don't know if some people, I know they struggle with saying no or saying, you're making me uncomfortable, or this isn't benefiting me, or I just need you to leave. And a lot of times we put ourselves secondary, and we have to learn to put ourselves to the forefront. I just don't believe it's God's desire, for people to just be doormats. And that was a lesson, seriously, I had to learn in my life, because I didn't want to offend people, or I felt like I could take it, or I was, it was okay, better to you know, just ignore that. Well, no, you have just as right to feel loved and beneficial and acknowledged as the next person. You never have to sacrifice yourself. Now, let me clarify that statement, because when you're in service, a lot of times you will, find yourself making different sacrifices for, for what you're doing, or your time might seem a little lessened, in comparison to other people. But it's okay, because you can't be overrun unless you allow it. So many people throughout history, have said things. Eleanor Roosevelt, I think it was, said that no one can really make you feel diminished unless you allow them to, can make you feel less than. And so, just think about your life. What areas can you apply this to? What areas can you take this advice and, maybe streamline some things, or even some people? Because people sometimes look at you, and instead of them seeing you, they see what you can do for them, which is pretty warped when you really think of the grand scheme of things. But that's just how people, they roll like that. And in most cases, they're just looking at, wow, let me see, now she is super intelligent, or he is super intelligent, and let me see how I can take what they have and plugging into what I'm doing. And a lot of times people, sometimes intentionally, sometimes unintentionally, they miss you. They miss the essence of who you are. They don't see you as an individual. They don't see you as a person of value. They don't see you as someone that has a life themselves. They don't see you as someone that has needs just like they do. They're so focused on establishing what they're trying to establish, they don't take into account what's going on in your life. Now, only you control what's allowed inside and outside when it comes to things like that. God, yes, is in control, but He gives us a voice, and He gives us a mouth, and He gives us authority, and He gives us power. So we have to exert that power and use that. In the Christendom, a lot of times we see people, I just don't want to offend nobody. But then you come to one of us in leadership, and you're complaining about feeling like a doormat. Well, you want me to fix your issue when really you can fix your issue. There are passages of scripture that tell us how to be great conflict resolvers. If you think a person is offended by you, you go to that person, and etc. And we just don't want, like I say, to make others feel uncomfortable, but then we sit there and we feel uncomfortable. A lot of times I think it's kind of backseated fear, or we just don't want to be seen as the bad person. We are people pleasers, and you have to decide for yourself. It's your choice. Do you feel like that person has more value than you, or do you feel that you have the right to speak up and say, hey, what you're saying or what you're doing is making me feel uncomfortable? Now, I'm not saying, speak your mind or they know your heart or whatever, the buzz phrase is this week. But I am saying there is a balance and there is a way to do things in order where we can speak our minds and be heard and not offend people. And then at some point, you might have to take the gamble that the person may feel a little bit offended, but okay, so now we have to decide if their offense is more important than my offense. So it's a balance. I'll say it again. It's a balance, and it's finding a way to communicate. And a lot of times we don't want to communicate with that person that's hurting us or that's offending us because we're afraid of retaliation. So again, it's our choice, it's our decision, but we have the right to tell things to shh in our life. The enemy, the devil, people, whatever that are being used in this situation, we have the right to call a benediction, to say ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I'm tired of this mess. Stop. You're hurting me. Stop. You're offending me. I remember times in my life where I had to go to individuals and speak directly to them and say, with all due respect, you're hurting me. Your words are hurting me. Your actions are hurting me. And I need us to find a way to coexist in this. Um, Let me use this as an example. You ever go to somebody and you say to that person, what you're doing is hurting me, you're offending me, and this is not working for me. And they listen, and you assume they're hearing you. Now, let me say this: listening, hearing, and really communicating, they're all different things. A lot of people are just waiting for you to finish talk. They just waiting for their turn to talk, or however you want to word it. And that is not true dialogue, and honestly it's not really communication at its deepest root. So you're telling this person, you're hurting me, you're offending me, and they're going, yeah, yeah. They might even say, oh, I'm really sorry, that's happening like that. And then the next thing out of their mouth is, but could you do this, do this, do this? And in nothing that they're saying are they acknowledging what you just said. I remember telling this one individual, I don't want you in my life anymore. And because it's too painful for you to be in my life, because you are a black hole of need and you are a life sucking force of nature. Now, that is just as plainly stated as you can be. And the person listened to what I said. So I assumed, big mistake, that they were listening and taking in what I was saying, processing what I was saying. And the next thing out of their mouth was, okay, but could you pray for me? I need blah, 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 blah. And so I'm like, um, so obviously you didn't hear a word that I just said. And so you're saying what you need from me is more important or has greater value than what I'm trying to say to you, and that I'm telling you your actions are okay. I see. So then at that point, me being me, I'm going to get quiet on you, and I'm going to go, okay, okay. And my okay, so many times, anyone that has known me for any amount of time, my okay is usually like, you gonna see. But okay. So I just looked and I listened. I said, okay. Um, yeah, they were removed from my life. And I made that choice. Do I miss that alleged, because it really was alleged friendship, yes. But then I remember the pain that came along with that. See, a lot of times we stay attached, to harmful things because we don't want to be alone or we don't want to experience loneliness. I would rather be alone than to deal with some of the foolishness that I have dealt with. But I'm grateful for everything because it taught me some very valuable lessons. I can spot frauds at this point, life suckers, whatever you want to call them, people that just want to use what you have. They want to exploit your giftings, they want to use your mental capabilities or your skills. And I smile at people and I'm polite and I go, I'm sorry. I just, at this time, I just can't help you with that. And walk away and really don't care what you think. And it's not being nasty, but it's also staying focused on what I'm put on this earth to accomplish, because I had to stop letting other people's stuff override what I was placed in the earth to do. So now I can focus and I can work towards building the ministries that God has given me. Um is this song, I think is I think it's by Anthony Brown. I'm not sure, but it's called Now Noise. And it talks about now that the noise is gone, I can hear God clearly. And I am so grateful for the silencing and the ability to say shh to people. You know, another thing, that you may experience or be experiencing is sometimes you tell people, I don't want to hear certain things. And it's almost like they don't really care that you're saying you don't want to hear it. They just want to get it off of them. So they unleash the dumpster, as I call it. They unleash all their problems. They download them onto you. And now you walking around feeling like you got a 20-ton elephant sitting on top of your head, because now they walk away all happy and joyous and all relaxed and they laughing, and you sitting there feeling all yucky because you don't let all they mess be downloaded onto you. Choices, man. I come back to this so much. You have the right to stop them mid sentence if you have to, or just hit decline when you see their name. But you get to choose what you allow and what you don't. Now, ministry, granted, when you're in that position and you're talking about, someone coming to you with your problems, and I'm going to say this, in defense of some leaders, not all of them, some real pastors, some real leaders, you know, if we see you and you keep coming to us and we're telling you how to correct the situation, but you really don't want to correct it, you just want to, use us as sounding boards, or just, like I said, to dump your mess on somebody so you can get a little moment of relief instead of getting a resolve or resolution. Okay, that's not going to help you. Change is what helps you. Moving the obstacle is what helps you. Getting that momentary breather, sometimes that's necessary, but when it becomes a pattern, you really don't want to change. You just want to, catch your breath. I'm going to say it, I'll say it like that. You just want to catch your breath and you want to use me to allow you to catch your breath. That's not going to help you. What we're talking about this week is simply learn to be involved in your own life. When something is hurting you, cry loud, spare not. When something is hurting you, remove it. Express that is making you uncomfortable to that person. And if they don't listen, take somebody with you as your witness or seek outside help. Do not stay in situations that are harmful to you. You have the right to say shh to the noise, be silent, whatever you want to say to it, but you have that right to call an end to the noise that is in your life. I pray this has helped you. I pray it encourages you, but I mainly hope it gives you the courage to take charge of the things that are happening in your life. Change what you can change. Work on what you can't immediately change, but have some kind of movement in your life. And don't be afraid to say, shh. I'll see you next time. Be encouraged, be uplifted. Life according to Dana. Take care. Be blessed.